Hello students of 9th standard, this is our second day and we have started the chapter number 4, that is nothing but measurement of matter. In that we have seen the law, various laws we have seen. Now this is nothing but the second law of conservation of the matter. In this point we are going to see the conservation of the matter. What does this tells us? This tells us in activities whichever we have seen yesterday, the mass of the original matter and the mass of the matter newly formed as a result of a chemical change are equal. That means whenever the mass that is formed after the reaction is exactly equal to the mass of the before the reaction, that means the mass of the reactants is exactly equal to the mass of the products that we have seen. In 1785, the French scientist Antoine Lavoisier inferred from his research that there is no rise or a drop. What he has told, that Antoine Lavoisier in 1785, he told us that from his research, he has told us that there is no rise or a drop in the weight. Antoine Lavoisier, what he has told, that there is no rise or a drop in the weight of the matter during the chemical reaction. That means there is no change in the mass of the whenever there is a chemical reaction, he has told. That means the mass of the reactants is exactly equal to the mass of the products. This was told by him. In a chemical reaction, the total weight of the reactants is same as the total weight of the products. That means whenever in a chemical reaction, the reactants are reacting, the mass of the reactants is exactly equal to the mass of the products after the reaction. This was formed in the chemical reaction, whatever it is taking place into the chemical reaction. This was told by Antoine Lavoisier and he called this as a law of conservation of a matter, and here he called it as a law of a conservation of matter. Conservation means actually whatever is at first before the chemical reaction, the same state is after the reaction. The next point we are going to see, that is nothing but a law of a constant proportion. Here in 1794, the French scientist, there was one French scientist in 1794 whose name was J.L. Proust. His name was J.L. Proust. He stated that law of a constant proportion as, according to him, the law of a constant proportion is the proportion by weight of constituent elements. That means the proportion of the weights which are taking part in the chemical reaction in various samples. The various samples are present where the constituents are taking part in the chemical reaction of a compound is fixed. That means according to him, the weight of the constituents whichever we are taking for the chemical reaction is nothing but a fixed. Example, the proportion by weight of a hydrogen and oxygen in water. That means the formula of water is H2O. That means it contains hydrogen and oxygen. Therefore, it is written here that the proportion by weight of a hydrogen and oxygen in weight, that is nothing but 1:8. It is written as 1:8. That means here there is particular parts, means the constituents are taken in the parts, or you can say are taken in the grams, and this tells us the actual mass of the constituents whichever are taking part into the chemical reaction. This means 9 gram of water. That means whenever we are constituting or whenever we are taking the hydrogen and water together forms, hydrogen and oxygen together forms the water, and after the addition of 1:8 we will have 9 grams of water. That means 1 part of a hydrogen mixes with 8 parts of a oxygen, and then we are going to get a 9 grams of a water. That means to prepare 9 grams of water, we want to mix 1 gram of a hydrogen and 8 grams of a oxygen. By chemical combination of 1 gram hydrogen and 8 grams of oxygen. So what it is told here, see, 1 gram of hydrogen and 8 grams of oxygen, when together combined, there is a formation of 9 grams of water that we have seen first. Similarly, the proportion by weight of carbon and oxygen in carbon dioxide. Whenever you see the carbon dioxide, the formula of carbon dioxide is CO2. That means it is formed of carbon and oxygen. Whenever you take these constituents are in the ratio 3:8. That means, see here, whenever there is a formation of an carbon dioxide, what actually happens here, see. For example, in 44 grams of a carbon dioxide, that means whenever there is a formation of a 44 grams of a carbon dioxide, there is a 12 grams of carbon. That means carbon is taken as 12 grams and 32 grams of oxygen is taken. By combination of both, that is nothing but 12 grams plus 32 grams is equal to 44 grams of the carbon dioxide. So that the proportion by weight of carbon and oxygen is nothing but 3:8. So it is given a proportion as 3:8. That means here, whenever we are adding both the constituents, that is nothing but C plus O2 is equal to CO2. That means carbon plus oxygen is equal to carbon dioxide. Here carbon is taken as 12 grams and 32 grams of oxygen. Whenever both are added, that means C plus O2 makes CO2. That is nothing but 12 grams plus 32 grams. Whenever they are added, it becomes 34 grams of a carbon dioxide, and they are in the weight of a 3:8 proportion. Antony Lavoisier, in the year 1743 to 94, his era was 1743 to 94. He was one of the French scientists. And father of the modern chemistry, and he was also the father of the modern chemistry. Substantial contribution in the fields of chemistry, biology and economics. His contribution was in the fields of chemistry, biology and economics. He worked in this field very hard. Nomenclature of oxygen and hydrogen. He gave the nomenclatures, or you can say naming, for oxygen and hydrogen. Showed the matter combines with oxygen during combustion. He also showed that during combustion, that means whenever there is a burning of a particular substance, it burns in presence of oxygen, was first told by Antony Lavoisier. Was the first to use accurate weighing techniques to weigh. So what he did? He was the first scientist who weighed accurately the masses of the particular reactants and products in the chemical reaction. He weighed both the reactants and products in the chemical reaction. Discovered the water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. He has discovered that water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. According to him, the formula of water is H2O. That means it is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. Was first told by Antony Lavoisier. He also named the sulfuric acid, which is called as a H2SO4. The sulfate that is SO4, the sulfide SO3. These all names were given by him. He studied the elements such as the oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, phosphorus, mercury, zinc and sulfur. All these elements were studied by him very thoroughly, and various elements got their names, or he named the various elements. Then see, first writer of the law of conservation of mass in a chemical reaction. He was one of the, you can say, or a first scientist who wrote the law of a conservation of mass in a chemical reaction. How will you determine the expected proportion by weight of the constituent elements of the copper oxide from its known molecular formula CuO, that is nothing but copper oxide? Here, how will you determine? That means how you are going to determine the proportion or the weight of the constituent elements, that is nothing but copper oxide, from its known molecular formula CuO, that is copper oxide. Then see, atomic masses of copper and oxygen is 63.5 and 6 respectively. That means the atomic mass of copper is 63.5 and that of the oxygen is 60 respectively. The proportion by weight of the constituent elements Cu and O in the compound CuO is 63.5 is to 60, that is approximately 4:1. Now how it is taken? This point, see here. The proportion by weight of the constituent. The constituent, which are the constituent elements here? The constituent elements are copper and oxygen. They are having the atomic masses, that is nothing but 63.5, that is approximately 64, and oxygen, that is nothing but 60. Approximately, if you take the ratio of this, it will be 4:1. That is 16 ones are 16, 16 fours are 64. So the ratio will be 4:1. So thus the expected proportion, the proportion by the weight of the constituent elements of copper oxide is calculated using the atomic mass of its constituent elements. Now, whenever you are going to calculate the proportion by the weight of the constituent elements, that means the elements which are taking part into the chemical reaction, how you are going to calculate its molecular formula, or you can say its weight? By its atomic masses. By its atomic masses you can calculate the weight and the ratio also, or you can say the proportion where both the constituents are contributing their contribution into the chemical reaction. Some experiments were done on atoms that have internal structure. Which were that experiments we are going to study? That means the question is, which are the experiments on atoms that have internal structure? This is the question given in your book and we are going to study that. That is nothing but the elucidation of the internal structure of the atom. You know the internal structure of an atom. Whenever you see the internal structure of the atom, what it has nucleus at the center. In nucleus there are protons and neutrons, and electrons are revolving around the nucleus. This is the internal structure that we know. But see, it is based on the series of the experiments. Whenever you see, it is based on the series of the experiment. What are that? That you are going to see. That is nothing but the first indication that atoms are divisible. That means the atoms are divisible and consist of a charged particles comes from the fact that on rubbing two objects together they get a charge. Whenever we see we are rubbing the two objects, at that time these objects get charged and there is, you can say, charged particles are present on that. In 1900, that means it was known that atom was not a simple. In 1900, it was known that atom was not simple. It was indivisible particle. That means it cannot be divided. It was such a particle, but contained a least one elementary particle. That means it consists a particle, and that particles were negatively charged electrons, which was given by J.J. Thomson. J.J. Thomson told that in atom there are negatively charged particles which are called as electrons. This was told by him. Later on, Rutherford also carried the experiment, and his experiment was known as a alpha particle scattering experiment, which led to a discovery of an atomic nucleus, due to which there was a, you can say, discovery of an atomic nucleus, and arrangement of the electrons was also told by him. In today's lecture, we have learned what are the experiments, then again law of conservation, then which are about the hydrogen, about the water, and about the copper oxide, how we are going to get the masses at the first of the chemical reaction and after the chemical reaction.